We're back with another Age of Mythology pro player point of view. Today we are watching I Am Magic, the Chronos player, versus the Rappel, the Isis player. So this is in the EGC Genesis tournament. This is the upper bracket semi-final. I decided to watch Magic in this one because he's the only player so far that is undefeated. And I'm also playing a lot of Chronos currently. So I haven't played Chronos really before until this week. And there might be a video coming on that later. But so far, we're seeing that he is going out scouting everywhere, even scouting with the cows. Now, this is when you know that it is a big game with some money on the line, because you don't often see Age of Mythology players scouting with the cows, because they just have terrible line of sight. It isn't like AoE 2 where you can see like a whole block. You can just see this tiny little amount, but it does give you extra knowledge here. So the map is Alfheim, which has a decent amount of cows on it. Alfheim used to be considered a really closed-off map, and now sometimes it spawns pretty open. But we can see here there's some really good cut-off points here from this gold mine. This gold mine here looks pretty defensive with how everything's spawning. We can zoom out a little bit. So it looks like this is more of the closed-off version of it. And he's playing against Isis. So what does Chronos want to do versus Isis? Well, Isis often wants to do something like a pre-siege or some kind of fast heroic, and the counter to that normally is Mask Antarius. Chronos doesn't have Thea, which is the god or goddess even that gets the extra bonus stats for your cavalry, so maybe we won't see that. But we're going to have a look and see what he's doing. He might put on some early pressure, going for some kind of mana over the top over here to get some Prometheans out to just do a little bit of a raid and then pop back, but we'll see. So he's going for a 3:30 advance time. So when I started to play Chronos, I wasn't sure whether to go for this one or get out an extra villager, but it looks like he's deciding to go for this. So he has found the gold mine as well, which is nice, and he can put on some pressure before the Isis player gets up to the next stage. But something interesting from Rappel, we can see his perspective. I would expect him to go for a 4-minute advance time at the very latest against a Chronos. It's just something that you want to do, but he's also getting these houses up. So I don't know how much damage magic can do, but we're going to see. He will most likely just put it over here and then transport the temple back, just get some Prometheans out. He is going through Prometheus, getting the Prometheans out, and then mana up to the top. So Chronos' special ability is next to his manas, you build quicker. So if you want to go for a fast second town center, it's a really good idea to get some manas next to you. I think up to 3 manas you can put, and basically then you just have one villager on the town center and it'll get up super quick. So his macro here, he's going to go for a town center really, really quickly. Prometheans in, some nice buildings in, some really quick walls here. He could just slap these down, honestly. You do some decent damage, but he's just making some idle time for these villagers. He probably won't get any kills, but just idling the villagers off of gold can really set back the Isis time of some kind of fast heroic. He could also just hit the priest, because he isn't in the next stage, and they do decent damage to priests. At least they used to. I guess they do have a 0.5 multiplier, which is what it used to be, actually, so that hasn't been nerfed. But just getting some cheeky damage off. These are free. He transports the temple back, just as we said, and he's getting a town center. The enemy player does see this town center going up, but there's nothing that he can do. It was starting about 4 minutes, which is when he advanced. So there's nothing you can do here. Really nice placement of this oracle here. You're never seeing this. Who's going to go right to the corner to scout that? Also gets to scout this gold mine as well. Really perfect positioning. And now what he's doing is he's getting these citizens hero-wise. So it looks like he's going to go for... He doesn't have a granary yet. So I'm assuming he's heroizing the citizens, maybe just to get this up quicker, or maybe he's going to go through and get that extra upgrade, which gives you 20% bonus gathering and building on hero citizens. But he doesn't have a granary yet, or an economic guild. But really, really quick second town center up before the 5-minute mark, which is really good. Surprised he's getting these oracles on the corners. I'm surprised he's not got one on this town center just to see if that's what the Isis player decides to go for. Maybe you would expect, just because he managed to get some damage done on this gold mine early of just some idle time, so maybe that would push back the timing, but he is going to check this. He's actually getting this relic. What was the relic? It increases the attack of ranged soldiers and ranged heroes. So this is really nice to get away from the Isis player, especially because Isis now has better chariot archers from the most recent patch, and you want to take that away. relic actually floating on the tail of the of the Terma there. Other relics that he might get: heroes regain hit points when fighting enemy units. Lifesteal for heroes. What's this one? Cavalry speed, really, really nice, especially if he is going Terma, because I'm pretty sure that counts with a Terma. It's a weird thing. Some count for Terma, some don't. So it looks like actually what Rappel's doing is he's at least got one barracks out just to get some harassment. But these hero citizens don't really care. They can stab back really easily. 11 damage. They have more damage than the spearmen. But what Rappel's doing here is just causing some idle villager time. So this is maybe worth it for him if he can micro it where he keeps running back and forth. And actually he has managed to push our man Magic back, because he hasn't got any units in this vicinity. He's got some Terma. So Terma do count as cavalry, so the spearmen do damage against them with their 1.7 damage multiplier. So what he could do is decide to get some Mamillo out, which will counter them pretty well, just because they don't have much damage and the Mamillo do. But it looks like what Magic is up against is he is up against a classical fight. So he's up against Sphinx and maybe some Eclipse timing, or just a big ball of classic units like the Spearmen and the Slingers to maybe come out to deal with these Terma. Well, that's what you would assume, but actually we can see that he is actually deciding to go through Nephthys. So it's like a kind of semi-fast heroic, just getting out some units to cause some damage early on. And Magic, I mean, he isn't overplaying, like he isn't overbuilding, sorry. He's got his 2 town centers, so he is perfectly fine. If the ISIS player wants to go for some kind of heroic timing, this is one of the best things to do, is get a second town center and just be ready to sack the town center and just move away from it and just be like, either just min defend, so you can just apply the tiniest little bit of pressure to the units actually hitting them and get some nice damage done, or just completely leave it. It's either or is absolutely fine. These villagers are actually coming up here because he really wants to go for this food. I mean, look how much food is here. There's a crazy amount of elks, and then he's got loads of berries here as well. So, and if he was to manage to grab this town center, he could defend all this really, really nicely. But what are we looking like here? So it looks like he has got enough for a town center, but maybe he's looking to go to the heroic age, because as we said, Cantarius are really good against the heroic age units, but maybe he's just going to be against barracks units. Looks like we've frozen here. Sometimes I can just press play and it plays it again. Yeah, nice. Okay. Just some classic spectator bugs. It's actually managing to get a decent amount of food out on the map, which is normally a benefit that you don't get when you're the 2 town center player. But if you're against someone going for a fast heroic, I mean, they just don't have the units to put on the damage. Getting some Cairo Ballista out, which is really good against Spearmen. They do so much damage. But they're so fragile, you need to make sure you get a decent front line on with them. Houses coming forward, that's a defensive manner, so he can jump into it if he gets pressured out. So he has also seen Rappel's ancestors coming in, Nephthys God. Lots of these obelisks around the map, so he has spotted this food, and he spotted that obelisk was actually just going to retreat these guys back. Don't want to lose them, because it's very hard to defend 2 different hunt packs, especially when you've gone 2 town centers and you don't really have the resources to build loads of units. And he is deciding to go through Hyperion. So if some kind of big attack does come, then he can just use the Chaos God power, get some nice damage done. And it looks like he is going for these military barracks, which is what you normally spam up when you want to get Cantarius out. And Cantarius is just very good against the heroic bush from the ISIS player. We can also see that the enemy player is going through and getting lots of priests, as we said at the start. Some kind of priest siege is normally really, really good idea to go for, and it all depends on the Kronos' ability to get that that 2 town center heroic age timing in without spending too much on the resources to get there a bit too late. Unfortunately, leaves the citizen in the middle of nowhere, so he's going to lose that. But he is 2 town centers to assumed 1 town center at this point, based on how many units the enemy has out, and actually didn't manage to kill that citizen. So really nice play to retreat that in time. Sphinx, really low HP, considering there's 1,000 priests here, so he's going to lose that. It's kind of a bit sloppy, really. But nice for Magic. Chaos on a group of units just to try and get some damage done. Ancestors Eclipse, the classic, coming in. Unfortunately, the Chaos didn't do that much damage. Maybe he could have done it on the priest, so then the priest can just heal it up. Maybe it isn't the best god power to use against all these, but I mean, it's probably going to be better than the other option to get a traitor that you're not really going to traitor much. If you traitor a myth unit, these priests just going to kill it. Really nice tower timing to get in. Just expecting the Ancestors Eclipse. Got a decent amount of heroes out. He's got 5 heroes, 2 of them being Hero Kyra Ballister, which are probably the best heroes that you can get. Otherwise, maybe Cantarius are also pretty good. And that was a really nice hold. Saw the low HP Sphinx. Sphinx with Eclipse are so good. So seeing that wasn't healed up was just perfect for Magic, really. And then you can just see from the score, because he's 2 town centers to 1 town center, he is in the driver's seat now. And he's really reaping the rewards of having that extra villager lead. Scorpion Man is here, but he's got even more heroes out now, so should be able to deal with those nicely. Gonna need to get this palace up and then kind of dip and try and get a Mass Cantarius ball and maybe the copper shields upgrade just to deal with this. Has he got it already? He's already got it. 1 step ahead of me. That's what you want to do when you deal with mass priests, because priests don't have much damage, but you get so many of them and they're so cheap. Especially with the Nephthys upgrade that you can assume he has, that they cost less gold, even though 100 gold's really cheap anyway. And then the Siege Towers have 5% hack armor, so that's why you want the Cantarius. He's also queuing up, pre-queuing heavy cavalry. As soon as he's got the resources, he wants that in. But it's also good to get up to mass population. Just the more bodies that you have, the better you are against this kind of ball here. But you can see that the priests do take these out relatively quick, but just need so many of them. Unfortunately, these guys are running away. Satyrs, I mean, probably best for them to run away because they're just going to get one shot by the amount of priests here. And this is actually a really nice play by Raffle to get these stuck here, because that means that Magic can't attack them all. But these guys with their 46% pierce armor are going to go down very, very slowly. And you can see just the score lead here is pretty good. I mean, you've been 2 town centers and you're winning this fight. The priests didn't want to run away. Just really nice play by Magic. This is how you play against Isis, and the timing, you've just got to be prepared for it. Get your towers up, get your heroic timing in. If he didn't get to the heroic age, then it would have been in some serious trouble. He was also getting some Arcus out. That is the other thing. As soon as you got the big Cantarius ball at the front, you then get your Arcus. Let's have a look at the post game. Just see maybe the villager lead. Maybe that's something that we want to see. Just resources collected. So this is what you get by being the 2 town center player. You can just see it just goes up and up and up. And if you're even on fights, you're just going to win. And then a cheeky Valor right at the end, off the charts. If you want to see more of this series, it's on EGC TV. But I think we're going to stick with Magic because he's on a tear. And I'll see you in the next one.